I didn't even bother with a prediction for this one. You look at what people are saying now, after this fight has passed, of which is probably already forgotten, that Jermell Charlo didn't even try, that it was a money grab. That's exactly what I felt as soon as this fight was signed. I had virtually no interest in it. You've got a guy who's fighting 2 weight classes above where he's been at. He hasn't fought in 16 months. You've got all the evidence that this is a load of rubbish, this fight, that it's not going to deliver, that it is a money grab. And then he just basically sticks his middle finger up at you by saying, I intend now to go back down to 154. What a joke. So, of course, Team Canelo are all smiles. They get another low-risk opponent. And it's almost because the opponent just steps into their role of, yes, I'm just here for money. We've seen this before. Look how happy Jermell Charlo is almost in the post-fight interviews. He's secured the bag, as people are saying. It's so weird. You see so many comments on YouTube going, oh, fair play, you've secured the bag. Is that why you watch boxing? To make sure people you don't know are getting paid well? No, I watch boxing because I want to see good quality fights. I want to see the sport progress. If you ask me, what would you prefer? Fighters to be underpaid or boxing to function properly? Or for guys to be overpaid like they are now and the sport to just not function properly at all? It's the former every time. And you know in your heart, that's how you'd prefer it. They called it Undisputed versus Undisputed. A nice little tagline. One to catch the eye of the casual with the surface level understanding. But there's no context to it. I could be talking about an undisputed guy at minimum weight who's been eating tacos all summer against an anorexic heavyweight and they're going to meet at middle. And that's Undisputed versus Undisputed. I gotta say, just casuals in general, because ignorance is so easily cultivated these days on the internet, it's like they've got to come better than that. You've got to start using your brain and going, well, actually, this doesn't look like a good fight on paper. I suspect it's a money grab. Why don't I just go to the cinema instead? It'll probably be more bang for my buck. All the hallmarks were there to say that this was going to be a garbage fight. Just look at recent history, the likes of Amir Khan against Canelo. He doesn't even fight at light middle, jumps up to middle. What do you know? He gets sparked out. He gets that money, and then he rationalises later, trying to just completely insult her intelligence. Having previously said, oh no, I think I'll be stronger there. He goes, you know what? I think I'm better down at welterweight. Yeah, now that you've got your money. Kell Brook against Golovkin. As good as Kell Brook was at that particular point, he jumps up 2 weights against another monster. You know what's going to happen. And it was just really to secure that 6 million sterling that I think he got. We also had Mikey Garcia, didn't we, back in 2019, trying to overcome Errol Spence at welterweight as he tries to make history, as we love saying these days. It's like, yeah, if that's what trying to make history is about with these poor contests, you can keep it and just try and progress normally. In order for us to get properly excited about a prospective fight, the opponent has got to have at least fought the weight directly under or ideally at the weight and shown some form. We got to remember when Roberto Duran went up to welterweight and managed to whip Sugar Ray Leonard in one of the best wins of all time, he had already fought at welterweight. He'd beaten the likes of Carlos Palomino, showing us that he really had form at 147. So even had Leonard knocked Duran out in that first fight, we couldn't have criticised it from a point of, oh well, it's not like we didn't want to see it or it didn't seem to have good credentials going in. So a counter-argument might say, well, Charlo's a big guy, he's over 6 foot, he's got the long frame, but it's about where you fight at, where you've shown efficiency. If you've never fought at a weight and like 2 weights removed, I don't care what your frame is. But we all know how boxing works these days. You just have to grab a belt, maybe grab a few, become increasingly inactive, milk your position, keep yourself relevant online, and just wait for a year, maybe for even 2 years if need be, until everybody agrees they can monetize a fight that isn't a proper fight. And on that very point, we do not want to see Canelo Alvarez against Terence Crawford. I think Crawford is a better fighter, but 3 weights removed, it's daft. Unfortunately, still, this is something that can be sold to people. Of course, you'd just be like the 2 pound for pound kings. Boom, simple. Put crowns on their head, do a silly Photoshop. Who's going to buy it? A lot of people. A lot of stupid people. I suspect our only defence as the vocal minority, as the real hardcore of boxing, people who do care about the sport, is to call it out if you found out people have bought these poor fights. Why did you do that? It was a crap fight. Do you realise every time you buy a poor fight like this that shouldn't be getting made, It increases the likelihood of them making more of them, making money off your stupidity. You know, all those outstanding fights in boxing that have yet to be made? Yeah, buying stuff like this just increases the chance of them not happening. You've got to wise up.